One of my most favorite artists, my favorite singers. I actually went and seen him live, Randy Travis. But, we talk TFL topics, and we talk about no fault divorce, and we talk about how many times the system has cleaned men out, how many times lives are destroyed by this. And when you hear men over in Big Toe and men in the manosphere talking about don't get married and everything that's being said, well, this is an example because everybody knows what happened with Hulk Hogan, and we've seen this stuff so many times. So here's Randy Travis, okay, who had a stroke in 2013, okay. But I found this one to be interesting and no surprise, and you can expect this to happen. The guy's career has really been messed up since the stroke, okay. But here, let me read part of this to you. I'll put the link in the more for you so you can open this and read it for yourself, okay. For artists like Travis, career musicians whose songs aren't heavily played on streaming services, but who have decades of beloved albums and deep categories, okay? The ability to play live is more important than ever, okay? Mature audiences are also more willing to pay higher prices for tickets as well as merchandise, okay? Well, let's get right here. Yes, it's not always that simple. In 2010, Travis and Elizabeth Lib Hatcher, his longtime manager and wife. So she was his longtime manager and wife, okay? So she was in the background. She was never involved in his songs. So this guy wrote a song, sung the songs, did his tours. It's him the song, it's him that become famous, not her. Okay, it's him that made the money, not her. But she was managing, so she was, in other words, helping book deals and concerts and tours and so on. And she was a wife, so yes, she would deserve some money, right? But this is where it really gets bad, okay? So let's go longtime manager and wife of 19 years, divorced with the resulting settlement splitting his past published royalties in half. So she took half of everything he earned. In addition, though he has sold more than 18 million records during his career, okay, and Hatcher had taken cash advances, so his wife took cash advances against his sales and royalties from Warner Music. So from Warner Brothers, Warner Studios, there you go, Hollywood, the music industry all tied together right in your face right here. Whether you believe it or not, they're one and the same, okay? Meaning he receives no income from his label. Yeah, that's right. Until the advances and repercussions, okay? 3 years later, his stroke snapped his ability to perform live. So there you go. So she really messed him over. She divorced him. She took half of everything and then didn't tell him that she had taken all these advances against his royalties through Warner Brothers, and he finds it out afterwards and has no income. So basically, while he's married to her, she's ripping him off. She's stealing his money. So she cleaned him out, then divorced him, and then went after half of everything he had. Then you would wonder why somebody might lose their mind, take a gun, and blow somebody's head off, huh? You would wonder why you might create your very own killer. Because this would be a good way to do it. It really would. It'd be a good way to make sure you got a bullet in your head. Or, or you got put down. And it wouldn't be Randy being put down, it'd be her. Because in this reality, this whole situation here, okay, they were married for a long time and she was his manager taking half, okay, I could agree with that. But when she's going behind his back while they are married, and she's taking loans against his royalties, and they're allowing her to do it because she's married to him, and obviously you can see here he probably had no idea that was taking place. That's how come he found out he had no money coming, because she had already taken and made all these loans against it so that he wouldn't be able to. And now here he is after a stroke and can't perform. He's basically flat busted on his ass while she took all of his money and run. This kind of stuff's disgusting, but we see it happen all the time. This is what no fault divorce has done for us. This is where we get off in society of screwing other people over completely. You know, just too bad he couldn't prove that she's the one that took them loans, and she becomes responsible, not him. Because since it was his music, him that was doing the singing and his music, she shouldn't have the right to steal all that away from him. It doesn't matter. She should never have that right. I wouldn't agree with her not getting anything, and I would agree to half, but she don't even deserve half, but she's went behind his back and taken all these loans, and now Warner Brothers, Warner's Music, Warner Studios is going to do this. That's pretty shitty. But anyhow, I wanted to come up and throw my 2 cents in here. This is the type of stuff we talk about all the time. And of course, I got somebody trying to talk to me at the same time as I'm doing this, like always. But anyhow, I wanted to get this part out. I'll leave the link in the more for you. But I want you to see this, because this is exactly, for all these TFL guys out there, this is just another reason why you're better off not to. Because as long as the mindset of people keeps going this direction, it's going to be a whole lot more of this going on. And one of these days, you're just going to see shootings. I mean, yesterday, Dave brought up a shooting that just happened by him, where the guy shot the wife that was divorcing him and shot and killed her, himself, and the kids. That's right, he took out the whole family, including himself. Then we had the story I told you about the 19-year-old girl who dumped her boyfriend, already had a replacement lined up, and ran right to the replacement and moved in with him. And he went over to where the replacement was in the family, went in there with a gun and shot and killed everybody. See, you create your own killers. And you're too stupid to see that's what you're doing. You can't dump on other people like this and just think you get to get by with it. Because you very well may get a bullet in your head. It's called creating your own killer. I've talked about that off and on for years. Well, here it is right in your face. I feel for Randy. I like Randy Travis's music, and I got a lot of his songs. Okay? Love singing with the guy. But here you are. This is what takes place, you know. His wife, who also was playing manager, put herself in a position to get money, and that's exactly what she done. And then she goes and takes all these loans out against his royalties, not even hers, against his. Plus takes half of everything he had. And then with the stroke keeping him from being able to do what he done for a living, it's really put him in a bad spot, hasn't it? That's what makes it not worth being with anybody anymore, isn't it? It's just not worth it. Not when this is the kind of shit you're looking at because of no fault divorce.